Okay, so, stand by.
Commence primary ignition.
Hello there. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Virtual Cantina Watch Along. But we're starting a brand new series tonight called Movies We Are Thankful For. And we are hawking the trek. So welcome to join us tonight. I'm Spencer, one of your hosts for the evening. And minding the comm, number 2, Dave. How are you, sir?
I am doing well. We are stalling just a shade bit because we are live in 2 out of 3 places, but I'm trying to get us to the main group. So we're coming,
Okay.
people.
Excelente. So we're stalling, but thank you to everybody who is watching on the YouTubes right now. And we got a very special guest tonight. And I thought it was very apropos, considering the fact that this guy hawks the trek quite often. He also, right after, even as Dave was saying, when we saw Purgles, Admiral W. Wales there, and literally 5 seconds later, this guy decides to make a great shirt with that as well, and a logo right there, which is incredible. Which he actually got that signed by Taylor Gray, which is even cooler. He helps us out with a lot of our graphics and stuff behind the scenes. Aaron Waldron. Aaron, how are you, sir?
Hey, not bad. For 9:30 at night, I'm kind of old. I need more coffee.
Yes. Well, we're very glad to have you on for us tonight. I'm very excited about this one because, well, Dave, you've been campaigning for this particular movie for a very long time. Why don't you talk a little bit about that?
Okay, so we've had this discussion many times offline. This is not the greatest Star Trek film of all time. It's the second greatest Star Trek film of all time. Okay, you take out 3 little words, Wrath of Khan, and this is the greatest Star Trek film of all time.
Ooh, I mean, nice focus.
Wait! I thought that was Star Trek 5. That wasn't the greatest one.
No, that was called Ahsoka.
That really was. That, like, what would God need with a starship? Wait, that's the entire plot to the Ahsoka show. But no, I mean this is really, I think this is old school Star Trek at its finest. It's not the fiasco that was the motion picture. It's not the fiasco that was Star Trek 5. It's them really hitting their stride in there. What was this one? Was this Nimoy directing? I think this was.
Yeah, this was Nimoy. Yep, this was all Nimoy.
And I think it really worked out, and I love it. It's got all those characters that you, Spencer, have the opportunity to meet tomorrow at Rhode Island. Yeah,
absolutely. So there's some great people that Aaron and I and Dave are going to meet at Rhode Island. Oh wait,
really? Don't be like that. That's just cold. It's too late for being that cold, man.
I know.
With
but what's it called? Walter Koenig is going to be there, which is great considering he's in this movie as well. But you have quite a bit of the Next Generation cast going to be there with Gates McFadden and Brett Spiner, who is also voicing Rebels.
Yeah.
Right there. And I believe LeVar Burton as well, so you can get your Reading Rainbow stuff signed. which is fantastic. Name drop.
Take a look
Um,
in a book.
Yep. Ashley's razzing us like mad right now. But a lot of great. There's some great Trekkies as always. You know, Star Wars and Star Trek fill the cons.
I mean, there's some fine people. I mean, but I'm just saying, without this movie that we're thankful for, without the success of Wrath of Khan and The Voyage Home, I don't think we'd have had the Next Generation. You know, is because the motion picture didn't do so well.
Yeah, it was like the Crystal Skull of the Star Treks for the first.
Search for Spock. Search for Spock was a necessary movie. It was the filler episode of movies.
I mean, like it was like that French version that I accidentally bought off Amazon of the 3 movies, which was 2, 3, and 4.
Speaking of bought movies, this is the movie that, you know, you got to have friends. When you have friends that know of your, you know, desires right there.
Nice.
So Aaron, you know, I was actually at That's Entertainment in Worcester, and I saw that in a Laserdisc box, and I called Dave. I'm like, I got it. You want it? He's like, yes, grab it right now.
That's brilliant. You should have kept it and gotten Walter to sign it. Oh, sorry.
To Aaron. Wow.
Hey,
Aaron,
is Michael Myers going to be there? Or
which
no?
one?
Michael Myers, the
original Michael
Myers. Shatner. This is the one con I think he's not
I
at.
have met on many occasions.
Yeah.
No, he is actually, I think he's in Michigan this weekend. He is Shatner, George Takei. I think they're at Grand Rapids.
Yeah, the Twin Cities Con, which actually Kevin Smith and his whole crew are at.
Cool.
As well. But because they're doing a big actually Mallrats reunion in Michigan this weekend. But Aaron, what did you love about this movie?
All of it. This was one of my favorite movies. Honestly, Khan was the quintessential one for me. The first one was like torture when I was a kid. The whole V'ger thing, that was too much. It was like watching 2001: A Space Odyssey. I mean, I know it's
so I'll challenge you. I actually respected the V'ger thing for. I don't think it was done the way it should be, but I loved the reference because I was like a big time NASA junkie, and I was just like, I know that golden record, the whole thing, the reach out into space. Yeah.
Yeah, but as a kid, it was a little bit too cerebral, I guess, for my age group at the time. But I loved 4. In fact, after living in San Francisco, you know, it's just like looking at the different scenes and stuff. It was really cool to kind of put the dots together. You know, and also I was big into Greenpeace in the 80s, so, you know, save the whales and all that.
And speaking of like San Francisco, it's funny you should say that because 30 days from today, tickets go on sale for the virtual Cantina Family Vacation 2, and we are going to end up in San Francisco, which is awesome.
Can you stop by
vessels?
The Wessels?
Yeah, they're looking at nuclear vessels.
$50 if you get somebody to dress up in a robe and jump into Monterey Bay, the aquarium.
Right. So I was looking at that article that you sent me earlier, Aaron, and actually George Gracie's real names were Adam and Eve.
Yep. That was what they were. Well, that's what they were originally going to call them, was Adam and Evie, which is interesting. There's a lot of really cool stuff in there that I didn't know. And also there's a link. They reference somebody's parents were on vacation when they were filming it at Monterey Bay. And there's actually a YouTube video of them filming it with like Shatner and Nimoy and stuff, just hanging out. It's kind of cool.
That's really cool.
It's
so
rainy.
I looked it up. Is this weekend at Grand Rapids Comic Con?
Okay.
Is in Grand Rapids, Michigan, obviously at the DeVoice place, whatever. Lots of people is George Takei is there. JJ Hertzler, who played Martok, the Klingon, like all throughout everything. You got some other and you got your Star Wars people there. Our friend Keone Young. Keone is there. That's why he's not in Rhode Island this weekend. Keone's going to be there. Amy Allen is there. Tom Kenny. Yeah, Tom Kenny.
Well, funny that Ashley posted that because I am wearing Aaron's Save the Space Whales t-shirt.
Space Whales.
Sad.
Yeah, and it's
actually.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
It's next weekend that Shatner and Walter Koenig are going to be in Michigan, and I think that's at the Detroit Motor City Comic-Con.
Very cool. Very cool. I mean, I think that obviously the three-peat of Khan, Spock, and this movie is the best that they've actually done in the Star Trek movies cohesively.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think that as much as I love Next Generation, to me, there was only one movie that actually was good out of that, and that was First Contact. To me, personally, I felt that this one at least had three that were actually good, and they actually linked to each other for a storyline.
Are we not? We're not.
This could be this is the Rogue One, A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah.
Are we not talking about Chris Pine?
Who?
I like the first JJ movie. I also really enjoyed that. I had a lot of fun with that. Obviously, like we're watching episode 1 of Ahsoka, and when Sabine's playing to the Illuminati hotties, we're both like, no, that should have been Sabotage playing in the background.
Yep.
But honestly, I mean, I felt that movie was great because it basically destroyed the timeline. So you had a new timeline with the Covenant timeline, and you could do whatever you wanted. I'm like, something, I was okay with that. But when he decided to make Benedict Cumberbatch Khan, I was like, you should have just made him Khan as opposed to made this whole storyline that was so far-fetched that it was not Khan. Was it Khan? And then you had Alice Eve as Carol Marcus. I was just like, that just doesn't work for me.
Yeah.
Well, on some levels. But, yeah, I mean, Benedict Cumberbatch as Khan is what should have been Thrawn in Ahsoka. His portrayal of Khan should have been Thrawn.
And that's why I kept on saying when they announced live-action Thrawn, it needs to be Benedict Cumberbatch because he can play it, and he's got the jawline exactly what the comic cartoon had.
Yeah, and I mean, I liked the portrayal well enough. I just think there was an awful lot of Ahsoka Thrawn that we should have seen more of. There was way more stuff that needed to be told about that to make that a good deal. There was no fault of the actor because I love the voice actor. I love that they're using the voice actor. I wish in a lot more cases when they bring things into live action, they were using the voice actors.
Now, the one thing I will say about Star Trek and in general is obviously they have so much out there. There's so many different things that they have done with Star Trek in general, more so than obviously Star Wars. And even back in the day, before there was even a Star Wars celebration, the big joke about Comic-Cons was there was a Trek convention. You saw that before you saw Star Wars anything at a con. Which, it goes back to that whole thing. So it's really interesting to see, what's there, what's available. And, fandom. I mean, the fandoms do cross over a lot, even if you say that there's a fight. I mean, it's not like always like what it is in fanboys.
No, it's not always that, or what it is sometimes on this show when a certain governor is on.
Right. I don't know. What's your thoughts, Aaron, on the fandoms between?
I've always thought it was kind of odd. I've thought about it a bit between the whole Star Trek, Star Wars. For me, Star Trek's it's more connected. I think it's got more of a morality tale, cautionary tale kind of side to it, right? Star Wars is just fun. There's a lot of storytelling there, and there's a lot of intricacies, but I think a lot of real life is kind of mirrored in Star Trek. Like they're trying to say this is what humanity could possibly be, whereas Star Wars has like no ties to the planet Earth, really. So to me, that's always been kind of the difference. I think that fandom wise, it has always been kind of funny how it's like always us versus them, but at the same time, there's so many people that just enjoy good science fiction.
Well, it's like I had a good conversation with Rachel McFarland at Rhode Island Comic Con last year, and I actually said to her, I was like, honestly, if you want old school, strong Trek, watch the Orville. Like seriously, I said Orville out Trek's Trek. And I said it to her, and she's like, "Oh my god, I have to text that to my brother." I'm like, "Yeah, could you also tell your brother to start doing Comic Cons?" But
that was the thing for me. I felt bad for not ever watching it. Like we started watching it when it first came out, and for whatever reason, we're just like, I don't know about this. And then we went back and watched it. It was really good. It was really
season
well done.
3 of Orville, New Horizons. That whole season was absolutely brilliant.
Yep.
But the whole story is very social conscious, which what Star Trek in the original series was very much that.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But I mean, I don't get the war either, because you know that I cross back and forth over the border.
You totally cross streams.
Cross the streams all the time. But I mean, I don't think there would be Star Wars without Star Trek.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the TV series paved the way for that kind of thing. And I think the difference you get in Star Wars and Star Trek is we talk about this on the unifying force when we're talking about, movie tropes and movie genres, is Star Wars is not science fiction like a lot of people think it is. Star Wars is science fantasy. Star Trek completely and totally is science fiction. These are things that, given very specific changes to the laws of physics, that could happen. That's why there's an entire shelf of technical manuals for Star Trek over there. Yeah.
That's the thing too, is like all the stuff I spend money on Star Wars, Star Trek. I don't really own anything. I had a jersey I got in Tokyo that was Kobayashi, but I had Shatner sign. That was all I've owned of that. I got to tell you, when Playmobil came out with that Enterprise, though, I was like, I need to find some money. That was pretty sweet. And now they came out with Magnum PI. Like, what's next?
That's a complete thing. That's who we need at cons. Tom Selleck.
Yeah.
You mean Tom Selleck, who was originally supposed to be Indiana Jones?
Sure. I mean, he's Chip and Dale, and so is Harrison. Might as well. They can be together. It's the same thing.
Absolutely. But before we start, we're going to start off in the next 10 minutes or so. Make sure that you're watching on, if you have the Blu-ray, DVD, Beta, Laserdisc, or if you're on Paramount Plus, we're going to be starting up in a few minutes to make sure you have that all queued up. But a couple of things, before we get started. As I mentioned before, the family vacation is July 29th through August 2nd next year. Tickets go on sale in 30 days. Only 70 tickets are being sold for this. and it's going to be the trip of a lifetime. You're not going to want to miss it. A lot of surprises, a lot of great signings, a lot of great meet and greets.
Well, and check out the shirt you get with that, man.
Yeah, look,
Oh,
that's
cool
an
is that?
Aaron Waldron original. It's awesome.
Oh, that just seems sad. I don't think that's going to sell it for people.
I don't know. I love it. When I translated the front plate on the old family truckster there, I was like, yes.
I have too much free time.
You really do, and I thought I had a lot. But very excited about that. But also, tomorrow at Dave & Buster's in Rhode Island, part of Rhode Island Comic Con, we have our third annual Rhode Island Comic Con meetup at Dave & Buster's. It's our biggest meetup aside from Celebration every single year. Dave, you were at last year's, and
Yes.
it's just an awesome hangout.
Well, last year was amazing. People that you don't see outside of Celebration from the group are there. We had actors from the Star Wars there with us, like playing video games and stuff.
And there will be some more surprises tomorrow.
Surprises.
Yes. And maybe an induction. We will see. But we hope to see you rub it in for those who won't be there. Well, Sherry, the guys next to me on both sides of me right here, they won't be there. So I'll be texting them incessantly.
Yes. He's already, you've missed it, Sherry. Like from minute one, it's insert knife, twist. It's,
Well, no, it's not insert knife, twist. If you know anything about knives, you insert, twist, and then go down.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's insert and then this.
Okay.
Right? Yeah.
Well, you know the battle-ette for this?
Does my name look like David?
I don't have a bat left, but I want one.
Yeah.
I can go Catholic nun.
I can go Jewish mother and just guilt you all. I mean, I don't know. Is that just as bad?
What was that? Didn't we talk about that the other night in the scariest moments in Star Wars?
Yes, the scariest moments in Star Wars is freaking Cyril's mother at Andor. I'm sorry, that was scary as hell.
Spencer got PTSD from that.
I was like, wow, this is too close to home. But I was actually, I had a memory on my my Facebook today. I was like, wow, Andor is awesome. So this time last year, we were watching Andor.
Wow.
So
that is hard to believe that has been a year.
Yeah. But also, we got a lot of stuff between our T Public and also Aaron's T Public. Take a look at their sales all the time, especially with the holidays coming up. A lot of great stuff. And I will be rocking that shirt tomorrow night. Wu Yang is for the younglings.
Nice.
Oh, and of course, you got to go with this one, Ahsoka Part 8, The Voyage Home.
Exactly.
Right there. And your friends. Friends don't let friends hawk the track.
Yes.
But Aaron, tell us about some of the stuff that you have. You have a lot of really nice new stuff that just came out.
Well, I try to do something new every week if I can.
A day.
Yeah, that too. Like I said, I have a desk job, so it's like what I do is basically it's financial aid for higher education. So I'm bored to death. So I need a creative outlet. But I've got I did a bunch of when the Purgle showed up in Mandalorian is when I originally designed the Save the Space Whales. When like they were a shadow and Grogu saw them, I was like, oh, save the space whales. So I've got a bunch of different space whales designs. I did a knockoff of the side of the bus that you'll see in the movie with George and Gracie, but I think what I call it Fred and Ginger with space whales. Yeah. And then I kind of redid the Cetacean Institute logo, just a bunch of random stuff and other weird things too.
Did you turn Ezra as Space Jesus into Con.
Oh yeah,
Thrawn.
yeah. There's one that's like Thrawn and it's Ezra yelling, and then the pergola getting bombed. I was like, ah. As soon as I saw that, I was like, oh yeah, that's gonna have to happen.
Nice.
And of course, one I was like, because I know you for a while, you were talking about doing Bendu, and I'm like, oh, you gotta do Rocky and Bullwinkle with Grogu as Rocky.
Yeah, well, and it's weird because I did that one and I put it up on TeePublic, and for some reason they flagged it and said it doesn't meet the community standards, and we'll get back to you. And I've never heard back from them, so I don't know if that's ever going to exist, other than the time I posted it.
We've learned to buy quickly. When we
Mhm.
put ones up that are questionable, buy now.
Well, one of the first ones I did before I went to Celebration in London, I had designed. I had a couple of designs I did. I did like a 99 Riot Racing that we did work shirts for that we wore. And I also did Captain Rex's Bait and Tackle, and it's got like the oh crud, what's that thing called? The big bongo. And it had like Rex's helmet, and it was like a fishing reel. And that was up, and somebody got one, and then they took it right back down. So I had to modify it because apparently Captain Rex is not kosher, but Cap's Bait and Tackle is just fine. So
Well,
gotta roll with it.
Sometimes it's the words and what you're putting in the keywords. Is we got hit really fast on a John McClane Die Hard / Boba Fett mashup.
Oh,
that
yeah.
one didn't last very long. It's like, come out to Tatooine, we'll have some laugh.
Yeah, I've had a few like that. I had the Fett Brothers restoration that didn't last long. I think it just depends. I mean, it's all fan art, but I guess it's subjective. I've had conversations with their legal department before, and it's a matter of they have the agreements that they have, and they have to just kind of go with it. So
Yeah.
I'm fine with it. Just got to pivot.
At the end of that, Dave, we never thought of the it's not Christmas until you see Hans Gruber falling off the Nakatomi. It's not Christmas until you see the Palpatine falling down the ventilator shaft. I don't know. But speaking of that, we also have a really great series of Yippee-Ki-Yay shirts for Star Wars, including like Yippee-Ki-Yay.
Have those up.
Yeah, we got those. We got Yippee-Ki-Yay, Carabas,
Barrick, Carabas,
Utini. Which some of the Jawas did buy that one, which was pretty awesome. But yeah, no, it's a lot of great shirts and stuff like there. But we are about that time, so make sure that you have the movie all queued up, and whenever you're ready, Dave, with the countdown.
All right, we're gonna do it. I've got like 47 things to press and hit today, so let's start with the countdown. There we go. And we are off. So Paramount
Aaron,
Plus opening with real life comparisons right here is in memory of the Challenger astronauts.
I was literally about to ask that, Aaron. Where were you when the Challenger?
I was in school. I think I was in grade school. I can't remember. But they had the TVs wheeled out for us to watch it, and it was shocking. Yeah, it was not great.
We're usually excited when the TVs got rolled in because we knew that they didn't have a lesson plan and they were bored that day. But that was not a day. I remember vividly watching it in elementary school. Dave, what about you?
So I still work for the school system that I went to. I can walk to the place in the physical classroom, like within feet of, I know exactly where I was. We were already watching the TV. I remember where the TV was distinctly, and we were watching the launch, and chaos the rest of the day. I mean, just very, very affected. And I was already like a NASA nerd, and that really kind of just cemented it. I've visited memorials for some of the astronauts in Beaufort, North Carolina. Is one of those astronauts was from here. It's very powerful kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think Chris McCullough was from up here in New England.
I believe McAuliffe was, yes. And really, what was really special and cool is I think it was the launch that I got to when her backup finally flew. The
Right.
teacher in space is her name was Barbara, I believe. I can't remember her last name at the moment, but that didn't happen until years and years and years later.
Krista
let's
was from Concord, New Hampshire.
Okay.
I had to Google it, but
Oh, Google's with that. So let's talk about right now. Robin Curtis versus Kirstie Alley as Savick. Thoughts?
I mean, back in the day, Kirstie Alley, I liked it.
So Kirstie Alley, I think, yeah, might have been my initial favorite choice of it, but Kirstie Alley was one of those that kind of took you out of it a little bit. Is they put a little bit too well known of a you see what you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Is
I mean, it's not like if you did Tim Meadows in Middle Mandalorian, but
oh, Sherry has an ad. I don't know what's up. Maybe I pay more money for Paramount Plus.
oh,
So
I started at the Challenger thing, but
Oh wait, this is the best part. This is my mother-in-law. She's doing. It's not credited, but this is my mother-in-law. This is what she sounds like when she calls me right now.
ooh.
And it's not universal peace and hello. Trust me.
it probably has the exact same effect on you as well. Just freezes you to death right there.
Yes. It's funny because I was reading that article I sent to Spencer. Well, actually, it was something else I was reading. They were talking about the probe and how it shuts everything down. And if it shuts down all the power, how come it doesn't shut down the backup power?
Well,
Shielded in little brass cages.
Hmm?
I mean, we've got nuclear hardened laptops, so maybe backup power is nuclear hardened, but
so let's talk about this. A couple weeks ago, Dave, you did with Kat the show about the Star Wars theories and everything that should never be answered. Should we ever find out what this probe is?
You know that there's a vast extended universe to Star Trek, just as the same is to Star Wars, right? So
I don't pay attention to it, so I'm asking you.
There is technical minutia on all of these things.
I feel like it's Voyager 2.
Well, and that's the kind of thing is that's you end up with the space probe that's talking to the whales is kind of a very
Do you think that J.K. Rowling stole that?
The very first in film, like super dedicated CGI right there. That the formation of the Genesis world, some very early impressive CGI, people.
Which was the one that where Michael Dorn played Worf's grandfather in? Was that the one when they got arrested?
That is when they are on the penal planet Rorpente. Is that 6?
Okay, yeah, that's what I was thinking. Because I remember that Michael Dorn was like the prosecutor.
Yeah, because that one had come out after Next Gen.
Right.
That was somewhere in the mid to late 90s. So yeah, Sherry, we're right there in like the kind of tribunal scene, and Ambassador Sarek is talking to the Klingons on their behalf.
Hey, look, there's Geode in the back of the tribunal.
And who's playing the Klingon? His voice sounded a lot like Doc Brown.
Whoa.
No, he's another Klingon.
Oh, okay.
Christopher Lloyd is
Not
another
Brown.
Klingon, not this
Yeah.
one.
Oh, he's the
Doc
one that quotes Shakespeare. That's right.
Yes, I think is it Kang? It might be Kang.
Yeah, Christopher Lloyd is Doc Brown is the main villain of Search for Spock.
Search for Spock.
Okay.
The only extended lore I know about Star Trek. Nice map painting, by the way, on the bounty. But is the fact that Spock knocked up Savick. That's the only extended.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, there is a vast canon, non-canon things. Excellent.
I mean, it
Jerry.
makes sense.
Timestamp. I'm trying to find who that Klingon is. This is my favorite character of all time, right there. Scotty's my favorite. James Doohan, real life war hero, and hilarious in this movie. And
the first one to actually go in space, even if it was post-mortem.
It was posthumously, but yes, is he was launched into space even before Shatner.
So, funny story is, when I went to the crappy con in New Jersey, it was 5 days after Shatner went on SpaceX, and he didn't talk about it at all.
Huh?
Weird.
So we had Skip was there. I think Skip and I were in GalaxyCon Raleigh, and Shatner, he was having a very dark day. During his panel, he talked about nothing but like space and staring into the blackness and contemplating his own mortality. And it was just we all walked out of that panel and we're like, whoa. We found out, of course, mere hours later that was the day Nichelle Nichols died. And we suspect that Shatner knew it before we did.
Right.
How do you feel? So I believe the Klingon ambassador is John Shook. And I'm trying to see other things.
Okay, let me ask you this. Did Winona Ryder as Amanda pull you out of that thing?
Yes. That was like, why is Lydia from Beetlejuice Spock's mom? Like, is his dad Beetlejuice? What?
No.
Though actually, I would get Michael Keaton in that role.
Yeah.
Michael Keaton is Spock?
No, Michael Keaton as Savick, as Spock's dad.
Okay.
No, not Michael Keaton as Spock.
Oh, now mine's buffering.
Oh no. All right, here we go. John Shooks.
Computer.
Hello, computer.
Yeah, I could try to do a Scottish accent for you, but 4 years in Scotland, I just sounded more like I was from the South. I don't know why. My wife sounded Canadian when she came back, so I don't know. I didn't pick up the accent at all.
Yeah, this is just big cylinder with the thing. So the that actor that played the Klingon, he's one of those character actors that's been in absolutely everything. Dick Tracy, My Mom's a Werewolf. He played the Klingon ambassador again in Star Trek VI: The Undiscovered Country.
Mm.
Um,
That's the one that has Doc Brown, isn't it? I thought Undiscovered Country was the one where he's quoting Shakespeare. That was 3?
No, that was Search for Spock, because that's why they ended up, the Klingon ship, the Bounty, is his ship, I believe. Was it?
Yes, it was, because the thing is, they blew up the Enterprise
with him on it.
Okay.
With his crew on it. He was not on it. He died on Genesis.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, they had the final big fight, the Captain Kirk versus the Gorn fight, but it was, not the Gorn, it was Christopher Lloyd.
Yeah, why did I think that was,
But no, Undiscovered Country is where they, the new Savick, the third, no, was it still Savick? Anyway, the Vulcan beams aboard with gravity boots and shoots all the Klingons and blames it on.
Yeah.
And then they get, imprisoned with Iman.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yep. I do remember that. Why is it?
And then Bowie showed up singing Magic Dance. Oh, one movie.
See, yeah, just completely funny what the alien probe shuts down and what it doesn't shut down. Is he's still got all the lights flashing in the background.
It's a paper towel tube with a flashlight and a volleyball at the
end. I'm telling you,
the flashlight's like this size.
Well, Darth Vader's original lightsaber was a flash attachment for a camera,
right?
With windshield wiper blades glued to it. The good old days when they could make crazy cool stuff.
See, the bad thing for me with Star Trek is that I have a lot of good memories as a kid, but then I also have a lot of horrible ones inflicted by my mother. Like every time I think about Undiscovered Country, when it came out, she would start quoting Hamlet, and I'm like, I don't give me the Undiscovered Country lines. I don't need it.
Yeah. I don't get that. I'm not that. Yeah, no, don't want that.
Therapy.
I do remember there was I think it was Undiscovered Country. There was a very special theater experience that I got to see that in. Is they had the local theater here had a tunnel that you had to go through to get into the theater, and they had it done up. And this was the day before LEDs and stuff, where you could do this easily and common. They had rope lights lining the whole deal as you're going down.
You know what would have been really traumatic is if they made that like Willy Wonka in that scene in the original Willy Wonka when they're going through the tunnel. Still have nightmares about that.
Actually, the one part that gave me nightmares was when you're seeing the different things and you see the slug going across the person's face. I'm like, okay, that's just the freakiest thing out of the entire movie.
Yes. Well, we talked about that one too. That was the whole Space Worms episode of, was it Clone Wars? I think it was Clone Wars.
Oh yeah, where they were possessing them. They were on, weren't they on Geonosis or something?
It might have been. I don't remember, but
that was the Queen controlled them with the mind things.
Mm-hmm.
No, that was the slug from City Alpha 5. Did they?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, what we're talking about is the same concept that they did that again in Clone Wars. But yeah, the big giant mock-up, the big giant prop of Chekhov's ear that you just see that.
Oh yeah.
The Scorpion King looked more real than that.
Well, that wasn't CG, and I'm pretty sure that was still practical, right?
I know. I'm just saying.
Oh, there you goes your matte painting again there.
Yeah.
You know, it's
So
funny
what-
that. Oh, go ahead.
What just occurs to me here is that I need one of those that version of Starfleet uniform. This
Offering.
reminds me. Have you seen Hunt for Red October?
Oh yeah.
This is the Caterpillar Drive. The spaceship is the Caterpillar Drive. Boom, boom. Listen to it at 10 times speed. Duck, duck, duck. That's got to be man-made.
Launch all vessels. There was a great every year. Obviously they make, fans make memes out of Spirit Halloween generic costumes, and they had one of a Starfleet officer, which ended up being obviously Cameron from Ferris Bueller when he was a Starfleet, and it said Starfleet Captain uniform not available till Tuesday. I'm like, okay, that was funnier than the entire movie of Generations. That one line was funnier than the entire movie.
And sadly, I did not see any Star Trek uniforms or Star Trek costumes at Spirit Halloween this year. Very, very little Star Wars stuff. Very little.
Really?
Oh yeah. And I may have been there for the last 3 days in a row.
Well, you came back with a huge bag today, so.
Yesterday I came out with 6 bags.
Holy shnikes.
I did.
Okay, so what I'm liking about the closed caption on this version is that it's actually under the actor. So it looks like they're actually talking to each other. I think that's actually pretty cool.
That is pretty neat. But yeah, this is Aaron. That would be a good cosplay right there. The Spock's robe there. That
I think so.
rock that.
We got to get the headband to go with it, to cover up his ears.
Well, yeah, and then just cruise that in the streets of San Francisco on the family vacation next year. It was
I think so.
not meant trailing behind me, cursing up a store.
Dave, are you going to be asking people how to find nuclear vessels? Are you actually going to go and do that?
Well, not if I'm dressed as Spock. It loses the thing, but.
Right.
But yeah, that'd be hilarious. Which way to Alameda? The nuclear vessels?
That's what I said.
nuclear vessels.
I actually have that signed by Walter when he did Boston Fan Next Door Boston a couple years ago. I got that. I'm right. I'm looking for the nuclear vessels.
Nice.
That is a good one. Because that's one of the best lines outside of the original series where he's misquotes everything, every line of Shakespeare and everything else is that was originated. It's a Russian, fairy tale or whatever. It's no, that's English there, Chief.
Well, it was the whole joke, with Anton when he played Chekhov in the JJ. In the first one, he was instant authorization, Victor 2.
Yeah. Well, the whole thing is it loses a little bit of that's one of those dated references and jokes that you have to sit there and explain to kids because they're why does it matter that he's Russian? Why does anyone care? It's when Rocky IV was filmed in Jackson, Wyoming, and they took half the airport and painted big red stars over it to make it look like people thought we were freaking being invaded. And
that's when movies were good.
Yeah. It's literally people are calling the cops up on the regular going, there's Russians at the airport. It's they just caught a direct flight. Nobody cares.
They're looking for Moscow, Idaho.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe you should do a planetary distress call. Stay away from the Jedi Temple.
Oh,
This is part of Order 66.
you know they'll come anyway.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of robes here, so it's kind of similar.
Well, yeah, well, because look, the president of the Federation or whatever, he's essentially wearing like a Jedi robe. That looks like High Republic stuff right there.
He's like, "Didn't you order the buffet?"
It's Chancellor Valorum, didn't you know?
Well, and Sulu there, George Takei is kind of sporting Poe's jacket. It's like, I am a pilot. I wear a leather jacket. That means I'm a pilot.
I still love the fact that, going back to Anaheim, that Celebration was in the new Starfleet Academy.
Yeah.
How many pictures did we take outside there? Because, look, we're at a Star Wars convention, but this is a Star Trek building.
Okay, right there. See, I'm just saying that toupee is acting its ass off right there.
He's making it work.
I just keep trying to fast forward mine to get to the timestamp. Plex is failing me.
Uh-oh.
So I think, talk about Aaron's, comment about J.K. Rowling's, that it's almost like the egg.
Yeah, that's exactly what. Yep.
Underwater, you can actually hear the sirens, but outside, it's screaming.
I think she stole it. That's the first thing they teach you in grad school is there are no original thoughts. Cite everything.
Not.
There's nothing new under the sun.
Yep.
I
No new knowledge.
I had a boss that once said to me, I love a good idea when I can steal it.
Well, we talked the entire time when we were doing Run Up to Ahsoka, is the world between worlds, that portal from Clone Wars and everything, is Filoni had seen the episode of the original series of Star Trek where they go back through the portal to save, Elizabeth Taylor. That's very similar looking. It's also very similar, that portal in the Stargate.
I was actually thinking Stargate, yeah.
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 Underwater.
It's just so amazing how, first off, how much of a slut Kirk is. But, how crazy it was for him to be the first character to do an interracial kiss on primetime television.
Yeah.
This was such a groundbreaking show. I mean, so many things. Yes, there are people out there right now who are very close to making a legitimate plasma-based cut-off lightsaber. Okay? But why? And what actual purpose does it serve? But hello, right here, the birth of the flip phone, the iPad, is all of these things are.
Hello, the Apple Watch, which you basically saw in Inspector Gadget.
Well, yeah, but I'm talking about stuff that are directly. Every time I look at my watch, I think I'm Penny or something. But just all of the things that have come out of people who became actual scientists who were Star Trek fans. And it's a kind of same thing as, there have probably been inventions that came from Star Wars. Yes, Dick Tracy, even before that. You're right. Sherry is competing with control of the.
It happens.
Yeah. You can't just turn away. We've got to go. We're there.
Well, it was kind of interesting as well if you think about it. It's like obviously you can definitely tell you're watching like this movie or even the fencing episode that George Takei was homosexual, but yet they totally announced that Subaru was gay with John Cho. Who I kept on thinking he was Harold. I'm sorry, he was typecast. After watching Harold and Kumar way too many times, I couldn't take him seriously as Subaru.
Well, that's the kind of thing you get is, were any of these actors anybody when the original Star Trek came out? I mean,
No,
Shatner'd been on Twilight Zone maybe at that point. Was that
TJ
before?
Hooker was afterwards, right?
TJ Hooker
Yeah.
was way after. TJ Hooker wasn't until the late 70s, early 80s, I think. But I don't know that any of these actors were anybody. It's not like you're reading some other character or even some personal traits into them. Compact people? That's he's hilarious in this.
Yes, Quasimodo.
And see, there you go. There's the time. There's time travel. There's time travel here. All right. So let's see. Shatner had been in a dozen things in the 50s. Maybe 24 things in the 50s. So he'd done some things. He'd been on Ed Sullivan and Hitchcock Presents. Couple of TV movies.
And then going back to that, it's funny. We talk about this all the time. Is that for the last God knows how long, Shatner's hovered around $100 to $120 an autograph letter, where he could warrant Mark Hamill money easily, and chooses not to. But also, thank you very much, Mr. Shatner, because both Dave and I bought multiple autographs because your price was so low.
Absolutely. And I think his fellows are kind of the same thing. Because what did I see? Is Koenig is very reasonable.
I thought it was like $40 to $50 when I saw him in Boston.
I think that was what it was for the same at Rhode Island.
Spiner's about 60 to 80 right now.
Well, the next gen actors have their prices popped up because of the popularity of Picard. Is they're hot right now.
It's funny, every time I see the bird of prey, I remember a friend of ours telling us a story about how it got created. It's basically modeled on Lou Ferrigno from the Hulk, like when he does the flex pose. You look at it, you can totally see it. We were on a friend of ours took us on a tour of Lucas, and she was telling the story about how she's a big Trekkie, and she's like, oh yeah, I just love Star Trek, and the guy that designed the bird of prey worked here, and we were walking through the halls, and she was telling me about how it came to pass, and she said, and then one day he just shows up with this plastic bag, and he had the original model in it, and she's like, I totally lost it and was geeking out, and not 2 seconds after that was out of her mouth, the guy walks by. She's like, that was him. I was like, all right. There's actually a lot of there was a lot of art, there's a lot of AI stuff in there, but there was a lot of stuff. There was Star Trek stuff in there too. So, and then of course the lunchroom looks out at the Golden Gate, which is nice.
Right.
Koenig is $60 at Rhode Island.
Oh, that's super cheap.
Right.
Yeah.
these guys that are just completely iconic are
Yeah.
they haven't gone completely overboard. And
Well,
I will argue,
for double that, you can get Anthony Daniels on one thing.
well, yeah, but Anthony is still a thing. But I will argue with you till the end that Walter Koenig is at least as iconic as Carl Weathers. You know, is Carl Weathers been in a few bigger things as like a headlining role, but Koenig has been around since the middle '60s in this huge property. I don't know. And
I mean, the thing with Carl, though, also, I mean, you have to say is that no matter what he does, he's Apollo Creed.
oh yeah, it's Apollo Creed is completely the mayor of Navarro.
Right. Though I will have to say that Carl Urban was awesome as Bones.
Yeah, he was good.
I still saw Dread. I saw that's
What, you didn't see what's his? I can never remember his name. No, Lord from Lord of the Rings. What the heck?
Boromir,
Theowen. No, he's the horse dude. He's like,
yeah.
What the heck's his name?
And rumor has it that he's going to be one of the variant Wolverines in Deadpool. Both him and Daniel Radcliffe.
That'd be interesting. Can I just say the slingshot scene makes me really want to watch Ricky Bobby? I don't know why.
First, last.
Slingshot engage.
Oh.
Just like Sue would have taken a nap at the helm.
Dead.
Yeah. What's his face? Daniel Radcliffe is Wolverine. You're a mutant, Harry.
Oh. Carl Urban was in Rise of Skywalker?
Yeah.
Huh.
Just like we all know that Simon Pegg was in there because they're all friends with JJ's.
Well, and then Daniel Craig.
Yeah.
Well, so this is
Daniel Craig, Kevin Smith. He was in both those movies. And then you had Joseph Gordon-Levitt did the voice of Slow and Low in Canto Bight because he's good friends with Ryan. And that character was actually acted by our good friend D. Tails, who appeared at Bruta London.
Okay, so yeah, I wonder what I really did think of Carl Urban in 2009 because Dread wasn't until 2012. So I would have seen Trek 09 before I saw Dread. So, it's just all I think of now, apparently.
Okay, the Klingon crystals. Don't you just need to get the green crystal from the Fortress of Solitude and that will cause it to react and get... What?
They could really use some, like, Mr. Clean eraser for this ship. It's kind of dirty.
A little bit. I mean, they're used to being on the, immaculate, clean Enterprise.
Well, and how's Spock keep his robe so white? You just brush up against that. I mean, I can't even get in the car without getting my pants dirty.
Well, that's why he had to jump in the pool, and take a little detergent, a little scrub gum.
It's Calgon, ancient Klingon secret, huh?
Yes. Now, when the scene comes up, I'm gonna have to look at it again. But where they park the bird of prey, that's not where the Disney Museum is it?
In the Presidio?
Near there.
Is it? Okay.
It's supposed to be in Golden Gate Park. I think it actually is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's it. But that's what Kirk says. Put us down there and Golden Gate Park.
Yeah.
Look, he just said it like right there. It's like we've seen this movie a million times.
Good luck parking there now. It's all food trucks.
Well, they just land right on top of one.
Spock, get me a taco.
That's not logical. San Francisco.
Tacos
I was
roll.
born there. I just want Harrison Ford to come on and say, and you're going to die there. Convenient, huh? This is Terra Incognita.
Yeah, you guys are going to have a great time when you're up in San Francisco, though, based on the itinerary for the trip.
I'm
Some
excited.
cool
I've
spots.
actually never been to San Francisco, so I'm pretty stoked about that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's my first time going there.
Yeah, it's a cool town. I mean, kind of expensive to live there, but
Right.
Yeah, I've lived near San Francisco and visited the city a fair amount of times, but the coldest winter I ever spent was summer in Candlestick Park.
nah. Yeah, we used to live in Santa Clara. We'd always either take the BART up through Oakland or we'd take the train.
Yeah, and I usually drove up as I lived in San Jose and worked right next to where the Google campus is now at Moffett Field at the Naval Air Station.
Oh, nice.
So to find that all of that was just like complete and total swamp and bay adjacent land that nope, that's where the Google people are.
Yeah.
Okay, so $60 for a toaster. That's nothing these days.
Yeah, this is just so like the scene from Terminator where Arnold comes in over the.
Nothing to see here. Oh, these guys are union. They don't care. They're just going to jump back in the truck and head on out. I mean, that's like a normal day at the park. No one will notice.
It's like the Truman Show. Right now, the face coming down the side of the dome.
Maybe ET will come in.
You know what would have been great if it actually, I mean, they were too young for that, but, since they're garbage men, if it was Emilio and Charlie Sheen from Men at Work.
Yes, that would have been great.
All right, here we are. 80s San Francisco. Look at those cars. Is that a Fiero? That's a Fiero.
They're walking like
double dumbass on you.
And so, Aaron, you appreciate this. So when I met Shatner during COVID, I had a shirt that actually said, "Well, double dumbass on you" for it. Where I had the plexi between us. So I made sure to go up to the screen, the plexi, to do the, "You shall always be my friend."
I bet he was having no part of that shit.
No. Oh.
Because
they haven't even taken a bus yet, and he's already saying it's a miracle they ever got out of the 20th century. Wait till he gets on the bus.
Oh yeah,
miracle you got anywhere. Also, continuity wise, the bus doesn't go to Monterey Bay. It's like an hour plus south of San Francisco. That would be a really long ride.
You look like a cadet review. Okay, I'm just gonna turn around a couple of times and take 2 steps and fly casual.
Fly casual.
I don't know. With those outfits, they kind of look like they could be like backup dancers for, Michael, like Thriller style.
So what I found was very interesting about this, like if the lenses were intact, it'd be more, it would be quite valuable. But since the lenses are broken, I'm only giving you $100. Okay.
Right.
There's a Lens Crafters across the street.
Well, there's also though $100 in 1986. When was
Yeah.
this movie?
That's when the movie came out. Yeah, 86.
$100 in 1986 was some money.
$100, not a lot at Starbucks. Good luck with that.
Well, it's splitting it up amongst 8 people.
It's like an entire movie of my high school yearbook walking through with the big hair. What the?
I love how Spock's just doing this, and Kirk's just like, look, they're right there. We're gonna find them.
Say good night, Gracie.
Yeah, that's the one that I did an upgrade of.
Nope. What is exact change? There's another Fiero. Everywhere.
You didn't say anything about the Trans Am. I mean, sure, it was dented, but you know.
I missed that. I looked away. I was looking at something else.
You're playing wall ball.
San
Can't
Francisco.
find the Pacific Bell.
Oh, here we go. We're just gonna walk off and do. Let's see. With the handlebar mustache, this dude, I just wish he'd say like meow.
Where are you going right now?
Where are you going right meow? Are you going to Alameda right meow?
What's with the shenanigans?
Ramathorn. Hello. Nuclear vessels.
See, his outfit possibly could be, leather jacket, turtleneck.
Here we go.
Oh, it's like Picard all over again.
Okay, so Kurt Thatcher, he is one of the creature performers from Return of the Jedi and an alumni of the Henson School of Puppetry. He is the person who's actually singing this song. He wrote it for this movie. And I love that they had the callback in Picard Season 3. I just love that song. No one wants to listen to it. I was like, oh my God, it's really made a canon.
It's hilarious. I think I own that radio too. I think I had that. It's like an Emerson double cassette deck, like 8D batteries. It weighs like 150 pounds.
Aaron, we were actually talking about this the other day, a couple of weeks ago, that we were going to recreate this scene on the bus.
You should. I mean, just the smells and sights alone on the bus will be worthwhile. You guys are chartering a bus up there, aren't you? You guys got like a charter bus?
Yes.
Our hotel is 10 miles away from downtown, so we have to take public transportation or Uber to go into the city.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Just because we can't park the bus anywhere near stay downtown.
Yeah.
You guys should take an Uber over to Alameda.
See?
And reenact it. You got Faction Brewing, and then the old airfields are where they used to film Mythbusters.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and actually, they used to film some of the Mythbusters where I used to work down at Moffett Field in the giant blimp hangars.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, they had World War II blimp hangars out there. Part of my job was like to see how earthquake proof those suckers are because they were built during the war, which means they're all wood.
Oh, geez.
Exactly. Like,
see, I was bummed when we went to Monterey. The aquarium was closed because it was during COVID.
Uh-huh.
But fortunately, there were plenty of breweries to go to, and just down the road is a really killer barbecue joint that has a great Scotch egg.
Hmm.
So there were some positives.
But yeah, I mean, getting anywhere and them thinking they were on that bus forever
Yeah,
is
yeah.
because getting anywhere in the city just I mean, I guess traffic wasn't as bad in the middle 80s, but it sure sucked in the late 90s.
Oh yeah.
It's funny because we were talking about Catherine Hicks the other day. Ironically, is we were talking about Nicolas Cage movies, and we brought up Peggy Sue Got Married, and Catherine Hicks was in that movie.
Hmm.
I love just all the random old ladies that are on this tour and just watching it discuss the. It's like, look, all the extras.
One
This
of
I
my
think
favorite memes. One
yeah.
of my favorite memes of from Ahsoka was Ahsoka outside the ship after she talked to the Purgles, and she knocks on the window to her Hu Yang and says, "Grace is pregnant."
That's a pretty good one.
That's really awesome.
See, I think this is probably the most quotable of the Star Trek movies. We've talked about this before. It's like the most quotable, like the prequels. I think in Star Wars are some of the most quotable movies there. But this, I think, is probably everything. Is the double dumbass on you? It's like, I was born in Iowa. I just work in outer space. Everybody remember where we parked? Nuclear vessels. It's like, hello, computer.
This seems like a small enclosure for a mature humpback weighing 45,000 pounds.
And
Just
not
saying.
just one, but two.
Yeah. Did they? And I kind of feel like you look at the way that the enclosure is, and you just get Free Willy vibes from it. I'm like,
Well, yeah, the Blackfish filmmakers would be like sitting over your shoulder, going,
see, she's rejoicing, but basically he just blew his nose on them. Like, why is that exciting to you, lady?
So, what is in this? I don't think I've ever been to this aquarium. What is actually in? Is there a similar enclosure with a down below that you water line?
I never got a chance to go because, like I said, when we were living out there, COVID hit, and they were always closed when we go. So
Mm.
You should have Randy Quaid in the back asking if there's any damn bait.
Or John Candy fishing it over the side. With
Oh,
his
like
feet.
in Splash.
Yes.
well, you could dig up Quinn and be like, "We need a bigger boat."
R.I.P. John Candy. Which you could have done on the Funko at Rhode Island Comic Con because all of his co-stars from Cool Runnings will be there.
Runs.
Oh, see, he takes the robe off though. He's in his underrobe. So
I
he
speak
was
well.
The poor nun. That's just not. And what's with the dude on the other side with the scuba tank?
I think this whole thing was it's like some of that's a nod to like the airplane or airport movies. Is there's always a couple of nuns in the crowd every single time.
Where's the Hare Krishna?
Yeah, it's like the jive nun that just
This
play.
kind of reminds me of the old Living Seas at Epcot before it became the Nemo.
Oh,
Speaking of that, check out Beyond the Attraction Season 2. They do a full episode about Epcot, and it's fantastic.
Nice.
They also do an episode about pirates as well as the Indiana Jones ride.
mm.
They
Or
do.
do they share both coasts? Are they like bi-coastal, or is this just a Cali deal?
Oh no, it's bi-coastal. And the Pirates one, they talk about the differences between California to Florida, but
Cali's
also the
better.
differences in Hong Kong and Tokyo,
Mhm.
stuff that we're going to see in 2 years from now. How
Yeah.
that is different over there. It's a different kind of mentality and almost different ride.
Mm. Well, I mean the Indiana Jones ride that's here, you may as well get a chiropractor scheduled for after.
Well, but that's the same thing with the Matterhorn.
Yeah, that's true. But at least that's a classic.
And I'm willing to bet though that they're going to change it. We might get over on the East Coast. We might get Indy because they're talking seriously about revamping Dino Land entirely.
Yeah.
Mm.
Is they may just go ahead and make Dinosaur into Indy.
So was this pre or post when Magneto took the Golden Gate Bridge and put it on Alcatraz Island?
Yeah, yeah. Probably a little bit before that. Couple of kooks.
That's a lovely tie. And a name badge. My name is Steve. I'm a chartered accountant.
Does he have a pocket protector? Because that was real big back at that time.
No, I don't think so.
No, he's got the big pen.
He's more of a bureaucrat, not an actual like scientist or.
Oh, Nichelle, those are not sensible shoes.
He's got that big pen that used to leak all the time.
Yeah.
There you go. Look, we found the nuclear vessels. Just like walking up the beach across from them. I kind of think that's probably frowned upon today.
Yeah.
You know, it'd be great if they're doing this. They start playing Chicago's "Glory of Love," because this totally reminds me of the castle scene in Karate Kid.
No, they need to go hijack it and play Thunderstruck by AC/DC, and then get Taylor Kitsch in there. Go for a cruise.
There you go. I think
it'd be great. Dave, would it be great if they also went up on the top of the Enterprise and there was a big 9-9 painted on the runway? Like it was a flag?
Yes, I know. I have that right over there.
I know you do, but I had it for the two people that are watching at home. I had to preface that.
Yeah. The USS flag is just so Aaron is I bought, we all want the USS flag, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I bought my first piece to start it is I bought the front deck plate that has the 9-9 on it. And I'm like, any G.I. Joe actor that I meet at a con is no, I want that signature right on the front plate of the flag.
Nice. Isn't that thing like massive?
Oh, yeah.
7.5 feet long, the full thing.
Yeah.
It is probably it rivals for size the G.I. Joe Space Shuttle. Space Shuttle is very tall. It is very long.
I saw a picture of that. I don't recall ever seeing those when I was a kid because I would have wanted the Space Shuttle for sure.
The flag like that should have been my Christmas in like 1986.
Only if you took too much LDS.
Yeah, right.
I mean, it was just like, and to think, and I know, again, money is different. It was way too ridiculous in 86 or wherever when it came out. It was $140 for that gigantic, largest playset ever made.
Well, I was looking at prices before. I mean, if you remember those big LJN WWF action figures that we used to have, those were like $11.
Oh yeah. Well,
See,
think
I'm still bitter.
What did Star Wars figures cost when they came out? 4, maybe.
I'm still bitter I didn't keep my Godzilla with the launching fist and you put it in the back of his head, and his tongue comes out. It's worth
We
the
can
money
find one
now.
in Japan for you when we go in 2 years.
Konnichiwa.
I've already started planting the seed of that, by the way. I'm not very successful, but I'm like, but think of all the sushi. We can go back to Disney again.
Oh,
The Disney there is insane. Like Disney Sea, I just remember, like my wife was her 40th, and so we took her on the rest of the Disneys of the world. So we did Shanghai, Hong Kong, and Tokyo. And I remember going to Disney Sea, and she just kept saying, "I can't believe how realistic this is. Look, it looks like there's a boat sailing by." And I'm like, "No, that's the ocean.
that's the ocean.
Literally right there. There better not be a tsunami, or we're dead meat."
We were actually talking about that before you came on tonight. Originally we were saying that we were going to try to hop, but I think that we're not. We're going to want a full day at each park.
Just make sure it's not over Golden Week, because we have this unfortunate ability to not think ahead. And so when we had looked at possible issues, we looked up Golden Week and we thought it was the week prior to us getting there, but we were looking at the previous year's Golden Week. And so we ended up we bought a room at Disney, so you get guaranteed entry, because we're like, this is the 40th. We're hitting all the rest of the Disneys. We can't not go here.
Right.
But it's insane. It was really cool.
I've been
Okay.
watching a lot of YouTubes about that.
Here it is. The iconic line's coming.
Plexicore. Yeah, the only thing I didn't really care for was all the stupid Duffy Bear. Like Duffy Bear everywhere. It's like, oh no.
Oh, I love it. Professor Scott. I think it's absolutely hilarious that he's not Scottish.
Oh, that James isn't?
Yeah.
What is he?
He's Canadian.
He's Canadian. Oh, he's from Edinburgh.
I come millions of miles, thousands.
Thousands. So what everybody thinks of as a Scottish accent is a Canadian doing a Scottish accent.
Maybe that's why my wife sounded more Canadian the longer we lived there.
See? Could be. Bold, but interesting.
Kind of reminds me of the Matrix when he gets programmed to fly a
Oh, yeah.
helicopter.
No.
And of course, Carrie Ann Moss is going to be at Rhode Island Comic Con this weekend.
You're just poking the bear. I don't understand it.
He does
that's
that.
how I roll.
Okay. This just wrong. I'm sitting here on IMDb looking up some of the answers, and I get an ad. Ryan Gosling as the Fall Guy.
I was going to mention that earlier. The trailer looks interesting, but I'm really horrified. Like, why can they not have an original thought?
I just want I want Ryan Gosling to be at a con with Lee Majors, and just Lee Majors walk up and slap him. Just
Okay, no one's going to look at Ryan Gosling the same after he played Ken. I'm sorry.
and he's going to be the Fall Guy. Okay, Lee Majors is like,
Yeah, don't mess with Lee Majors.
no.
Yeah, but you also had Scott Conn playing Magnum PI.
Again, no original thoughts. Just
No.
saying.
None at all. That's And they're like, how the Fall Guy celebrates the art of stunt performing. Then how about no? Then how about we get somebody who's like
Take a look at that. Take a look at that Mac.
Also,
Like-
$6 million man.
Yeah.
They might. Hopefully, they won't remake that. If they remake Smokey and the Bandit, I'm out. I'm getting rid of all my tech.
How quaint.
I love it. Keyboard.
Well, at least it's not a Commodore 64.
I was just about to say that. I had the Commodore 64, but my school had all the Macs.
Yeah, I had a tape drive for my Commodore 64 and that annoying dot matrix printer.
Thing to you, or should I just punch up clear?
I was actually talking about the game Challenger the other day that I used to play on the Commodore.
Spy versus Spy was the one that I liked to play all the time. Yeah, Madeline, go away. Can't you see? We're violating the Prime Directive in here.
The Fall Guy movie, I might buy. I'm sitting here looking at Ryan Gosling. No, Brendan Wayne. Yes.
Or just leave it be.
Well, that would be the ideal, because they're not going to drive as cool a truck.
Actually, if you watch the trailer, I think at the very beginning there was a truck that looked similar to the one in the original. I was just watching that this evening, shaking my head, going, ugh.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody's rushing to remake TJ Hooker. I'm just saying.
Well, if they do, it'll be Shatner. TJ Hooker gets old.
Well, I mean, it was obvious when they remade Shaft that it made sense that it was going to be Samuel L. Jackson. Like, there was no one else who was going to play that role.
R.I.P. Richard Roundtree.
Yes. But I still maintain that the only movie or any property that they were really able to reboot successfully, I think television-wise, was one Cobra Kai. I thought that was exceedingly well done.
Well,
Movie-wise, Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Maverick.
Okay, Maverick, yes. We'll throw that in there.
It was funny on the time that we went to Lucasfilm, Reitman was actually there doing like a Q&A. They round people up to go to these Q&As. It's for the employees, I guess. But we got to see him in a Q&A, and it was before. It wasn't Thank You for Smoking. It was the movie he did after that with it was about the senator. It had something to do with a senator, but he had kind of alluded to Ghostbusters too during that. That was pretty interesting.
Very cool. Oh, here it comes. Here's going to be the line.
And yet now you know they're aging right now because they're drinking a Michelob. Nobody drinks a Michelob anymore.
Well, they're also at Olive Garden with all you can eat breadsticks. I mean, how can you go wrong? Look at that. I'm a Pisces.
I can take this whale somewhere.
The breadsticks that everybody touches.
Yeah, all right.
Does he actually? He's just
front.
I don't know that he actually ever eats it.
Sort of like all the food on the Big Bang Theory. They always have like a sandwich and a big chunk of lettuce that they just like move around with a fork.
You can call me Admiral.
He's like,
this doesn't taste like Romulan ale.
Well, that is the funny thing. He looks at it like, what is this? But I guess they're used to synthahol.
Well, wasn't it in Star Trek 2 that Bones brought him the glasses and a bottle of Romulan ale?
Well, yeah, because the general thing, though, is like synthetic ale for the replicator or whatever. They have to, like, Bones has to smuggle in the good stuff for medicinal purposes.
Right.
It's nice that she says "damn" before she takes a drink of the Michelob Ultra.
Right.
What is what?
You have a pocket pager.
Oh my gracious!
Why does it say hello?
No, it says boobies. It's an overcode, but it checks out, sir.
And we've devolved to 12.
There you go. Phasers on the sun. Good luck to you.
If they slingshot around Uranus, we got problems.
And we're there. It would have been great if he had the Nokia sign. Remember when Nokias were big when we were in college?
Starts playing Snake.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I'm from Iowa. I only work in outer space. I think that is the greatest, like, small town gimmick that anybody ever had. That, like, the mayor of Riverside, Iowa, just said, "Hey, can Captain Kirk be born here?" Like, we're gonna, like, we'll put up a statue in Riverside, Iowa. That's where he is.
So here's laughing. He's like, "You say you're all ears. Have you met Spock?" The truth is, this beer sucks.
He takes a big old swig.
From outer space. I'm from the future.
Oh, this seems more plausible. She seems convinced. Please take my whales and my children.
I like that line in the JJ one. See, I just thought you were some hick that only has sex with farm animals. Well, not only.
Only.
I remember watching that movie, and then there was an interview with Shatner and said Chris Pine's gonna have a great career.
Because he reminds me of me.
Oh, well, he's good at Dungeons and Dragons.
I don't think I've watched that yet.
I mean, I was just excited that there was an owl bear in it.
Yeah.
Again, more childhood trauma.
That cartoon was awesome, though.
That was one of the greatest cartoons.
Mm.
That is on my list. That is a future episode of the Unifying Force, by the way. The top 50, or my top 50, animated TV shows of the 20th century. Dungeons and Dragons, totally on that.
Yep.
Transformers. Jabberjaw.
Way up there. Jabberjaw. So the property that Jabberjaw was in is on there, like the Wacky Races.
Mm-hmm.
That, but Jabberjaw itself.
Are you going to include Gem? Come on, you know you watch Gem.
Oh, okay.
What about?
I have a sister that is like what, 11 months younger than I am. Yeah, I watched Jim and the Holograms. I know. Rainbow Bright is on the list too, people.
What about Jason the Wheel Warriors? You remember that one?
I do remember that one. That one I think was very derivative of something else. So a lot of the ones that were super derivative, I just kind of left off. Like, you know, there's a place for Thundercats, but is there then a place for Silverhawks? No, it's the same show.
And the only Voltron you're allowed to talk about is Lions.
There is no other Voltron. I don't know what you're talking about. There is no other Voltron.
So Sherry says she liked Penelope Pitstop and Huckleberry Hound.
Yep, is like I said, Huckleberry Hound was totally on like the Wacky Races show. What the Yogi Bear? You know, there was. Do you guys remember that? It was I think like early version of Cartoon Network. Like I think it was on USA Network. Had all these things, and you'd get the Blue Falcon and all the team ups.
Please tell me Danger Mouse is on your list.
I love Danger Mouse. I don't remember if that made it or not.
You guys totally just missed the best pickup line ever. I don't suppose you want to show me your spaceship. That wouldn't be my first choice. She seems so defeated.
Yeah. But then watch the she sees, she doesn't see. Oh, was that a bright light?
I got my Chevy. Here I go.
Where'd he go? Where'd who go?
Oh,
Hey, what's that big flash next to me? Wait, what?
There
It was a
you go.
neuralizer. Didn't you know?
Have
You
you
didn't
ever
notice.
flashy thing me, Kay? Kay,
No.
you ever flashy thing me? Mighty Mouse and Underdog completely on there, Sherry.
yes.
All sorts of old school ones that would show on like if a show came out in the late 50s and it was still rerunning in the 80s, that makes a list right there. And then I love the in the background there, just Bones is just like, well, do you have any feelings? So I didn't ever get any stories about this. I don't know whether they cleared off the ship or what. My uncle was stationed on the Enterprise about this time, but didn't have any stories about like interactions or what they were doing. So I don't know how. Obviously, some of this took place on a ship, whether it was the Enterprise or not.
It was a different ship actually. I can't remember. I think Spencer, was it on the list I sent you? As one of the things?
Yeah, I believe it was. There was. They did talk about which version because one was not available, so they used another one, but called it that.
Yeah, but you could still see like the name like in the background. I don't remember the name of it though. Not a power drain.
In comes Nuclear Man. That's it.
Just bad.
One of the worst sequels imaginable for 100, Alex. Quest for Peace.
Quest for Peace.
Yeah, that's right up there with like Trek 5, Superman 4.
Rocky 5.
I don't know if it's on the same level of badness as that, but it's
Crystal Skull.
It's right there.
Speaking of Indiana Jones, December 1st, Dial of Destiny is on Disney Plus.
Oh yeah,
we might have to put that on our list.
It's worth a watch. It's
also
it's fun.
We have to watch Rebel Moon. That comes out in December.
Look, I have this little bitty device that lets me like take all this nuclear radiation.
Does it count for midichlorians too?
I sure hope he doesn't have Cigna after this fall. You know, the first thing I thought of when you said that they were maybe going to remake Dino Land into Indiana Jones, East Coast, is I sure hope they have like a Shia LaBeouf section where he's like, you could swing through the trees with some monkeys, because that would be kind of fun.
Yeah. They need some other stuff. I don't know what the plans. They've talked about making that Zootopia. They've talked about making all sorts of things, but and it's like this is where it gets a little bit silly. Okay, is like, yes, this is the 80s version of it, but surely you are in the military. You've been trained and are familiar with interrogation.
Well, and what, some random guy with like a 3-piece suit just shows up?
Yeah, it's just like,
It's a typical 80s corporate yuppie douchebag with the slick back hair and the 3-piece suit and the vest and the tie.
He's there to close. It's like Boiler Room.
All he needed was like some like Coke bottle glasses, and he would look like James Spader in Mannequin.
You would think some of the other sailors would be stopping this dude that's running through the hallways, jumping over the knee knockers. It's like, that ain't right. That dude's.
He's a Rusky.
But all the sailors are just standing there. You got to wait for the Marines to come up. So it's got to be a big ship there. You got the big hangar. So uh-oh. Nope. That didn't work out well.
It's the USS Ranger.
Hmm.
That was the one. It was also the USS Ranger was also in Top Gun. There you go. That's exciting.
Well, looky there.
He totally looked like the 10-inch action figure just laying there. It did not look like it was actually Walter. Up your shaft.
Oh, completely drained this whole pool. Whoa.
Well, that's why they're washing down the
Hey,
streets.
but we found your spare keys.
Oh,
Oh,
look
she's
at
angry.
that.
Don't drive angry.
See, this is sad. Of course, they announced apparently back in September that they plan on dismantling and disposing of the Enterprise. It's like, dude, park that at Alameda and make it a freaking Star Trek museum.
Almost like the Intrepid.
Pay money hand over fist.
It would have been great if she showed up and there was a ticket on her car for parking in the wrong zone.
Double parking.
Yeah. Okay. Sulu, where's the other pilot? Like, did you just jack like a Huey?
No. They just gave him the formula for transparent aluminum. He's letting them borrow it.
And all of a sudden, you look. A guy walks out of his house and starts looking up, and oh my God, it's Henry Hill.
Oh, uh-oh. What? Green screens.
No, it's the volume.
There you go. Admiral Kirk.
Oh, this isn't going to end well.
Oh, invisible leg. Oh,
Catherine, it's cold out there, isn't it?
Well, there's no underwear in San Francisco.
Good. It's not the 60s.
It's like,
oh, see, Scotty's got a pocket protector.
hell, that's the way Scotty rolls.
Yeah.
Scotty's a real engineer.
Admiral, break out the breadsticks. She wants to see your spaceship.
It's like, oops.
You can't be the breadsticks for an 80s aphrodisiac.
She's doing a lovely mime impression now.
I was going to say, this Klingon bird of prey really has a great mime device.
Huh. Hello there.
It would have been great if she gets brought up, beamed up, and it's almost like the pig creature from Galaxy Quest that gets inside.
Yes.
Oh, I thought
He doesn't know how to speak.
tell me my ass was this big.
He does not have any Klingon, so
It's like you beam me up backwards. What do you mean they're gone?
Yes, it's definitely plausible they drained that quickly and hauled them off. While we were eating breadsticks, they stole my whales.
Well, it's about as plausible. Well, it's not just the whales, it's the water.
Yeah.
It's like, maybe you could have like filled that tank up with water first and just beamed the whale. Oh no.
Well, then what about whatever else is
long
around the
ways.
whales?
Yeah, I guess you wouldn't have, because you couldn't do that, because it'd be like beaming a whale inside a brick wall, or I guess it makes sense. You have to do it.
Well, if you're beaming the water up with the whales, what if the whales had Taco Bell the night before? Like, you're getting a lot of stuff that you really don't want to go up there with you.
Well,
It could be fish. You don't know.
Oh yeah. Uh-oh, you said McCoy was correct. This is just funny because this is like one of Nimoy's most like robotic movies. He's the Spockiest of Spock in this.
Well, he still has, he's still kind of fried because of, the whole.
Well, yeah, being trapped in McCoy's head.
Right. Doctor gave me a pill and I got a new kidney.
She's a character actor. She's been in other stuff. I know I've seen her elsewhere. Sherry's like, he was too busy directing to act too. Well, I wasn't like downplaying his acting. I think he is being the Spockiest of Spock in this one.
Well, if you also look at like Frakes, I mean, we were talking about First Contact, which is one of my favorites Next Generation movies. He directed that, and Riker was hilarious in that movie.
Yeah. Yeah. How many times did he do the Riker maneuver in that movie? You know?
Better than the Haldo maneuver.
Too soon. See, it would be great if when he says it sounds like the Spanish Inquisition, they broke out with some Mel Brooks.
Like, no one expects the Spanish. No.
Why did they bring Mario Lopez in there?
Oh.
I put glasses on it. It's Eugene Levy's character from Splash.
Get out of the way.
Hello, Dr. Eyebrows.
Or zip, zip, zip.
It's Harry Potter. He became a surgeon.
Cramps.
Whoa. Oh, no. Yep. Get in the closet. I've got this.
Well, I mean, Harry Potter should be used to that. He was locked under the stairs. You just throw him in a closet. He'd be fine.
Yeah. And melt the lock.
We saw that at we were over at the Biltmore Estate. We saw the cover underneath the staircase.
Well, let's just put the little dooflotchy on them with the little lights. Now they harken back. I think they use that same little doodah again later in Next Generation.
Reminds me of the med pack that they used in Guardians.
Oh, Chekhov. rank Admiral.
That was my second quote. If I was not going to get the first one done, I was going to get that one.
That's a good one. It was a she. One little
That looks like his TJ Hooker outfit, doesn't it?
It really does. It could have been his TJ Hooker co-stars. I think he's about rocking the same hair. The wig is his co-star on TJ Hooker.
Well, oh, in Picard, where Walter did the voice of Chekhov's grandson, and he talked about his grandfather. In season 3, Picard.
Dang it, Bill, and I'm growing a new kid.
How did she do that? Fully functional.
I love that they're playing just like the big Keystone Cops music in the background.
But did you also notice when the guy fell with the big sock cast, you could actually see that it was like a slip-on because you saw in between the cast and his knee.
You beamed him right back to Golden Gate Park. Like, no.
Freeze!
You're not taking me with you?
Oh, wait, where's my grandma?
You know, there might have been the time for, like, you know, punching up a little bit of a Google search on the old bird of prey right there before you decide to take her. It's like, did anything happen? So here's the question is, did she really not affect anything in history, or did she not affect anything in history because they kidnapped her and took her back to the future? Which came first? Who knows? One damn minute ago.
Yeah, she's got 300 years of science to catch up on. Does she have enough time to study that much?
Well, well, that's the other thing. It's like, well, we need a whale expert. She's got to go all over the place because nobody knows anything about whales. Well, read a damn book. You know, it's all written down at one point.
Well, and besides, there'll only be 3 whales. If Gracie's pregnant, like, it's going to take a little while to build that population back up.
Well, I guess they got to go figure out where you can get something else that's going to, like, halfway. Otherwise, you got, like, a whole planet full of inbred whales.
That's true, too. Hence the Purgle. They just bring them in.
There you go.
I mean, they could have taken the scrubs off before they started flying the plane. I mean, geez.
They didn't have time.
400 tons. It's not just the whales. It's the water. Yeah. This is just like Flight of the Navigator or something right there.
There was an article I read the other day that there needs to be a resurgence of that movie, that people need to start watching that movie and how great and underappreciated it was.
Flight of the Navigator is a great movie.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one of those classics in the vein of like Goonies.
Right.
Or, what's the one? Guessing it's not in my nature.
Well, I love that the actor in that is like the same kid who played Lincoln Hawk's son in Over the Top.
Mm-hmm. What was the other movie that was like similar, I thought, to that, where they built their own like little spaceship out of like
Explorer.
River Phoenix, was River Phoenix in that one?
River Phoenix and Ethan Hawke.
Yes.
The ship was called the Thunder Road. It was made out of a tilt-a-whirl, and it was great. It was such a fantastic movie.
And like the windows were like a tube TV with all the stuff
tube
like
TV
the glass.
and washing machine doors.
Yes.
And it was such a great movie up until they meet the aliens in the third act. And I'm like, that's why they completely jumped the shark.
Jumped the shark. Wheels came off.
But it was still a very. I enjoyed the movie. Like, I thought that was actually a really great movie and underappreciated back in the day.
Oh.
You hear from it in Dublin Fair City, where girls are so pretty. You hear Quint.
The Klingon.
No, it's sea shanties.
Full power descent. He presses one button. It's not like a stick or a wheel. No, press a button. Klingon's got the automation. It's like, what language are you speaking? Animatronic whales, boys and girls. Animatronic.
It's a giant dolphin with rabies from One Crazy Summer.
Oh my god! It's a porpoise.
Full power descent. Let's just tilt the camera back this way. Oh, they're flying down now.
Why does the back of the ship say Jenny?
It's the Jenny. We have 3 Jennies now. Da-da-da.
She's the second most vile villain in cinematography history, right behind Grandpa Joe.
No, there was somebody else that, like, along the veins of how bad and how much I hated Jenny was. I don't remember the movie, but it was help me. What's her face that plays Pepper Potts?
Okay, with Gwyneth.
Yeah, Gwyneth was in something that she was just absolutely breaks this person's heart. I can't remember what it was.
Shallow Hal?
No. It wasn't a comedy. It was like, let's see.
Was it Mac and Me?
Great Expectations?
It might. I don't know.
Or young Wendy Mora Angela Darling from Hook?
No, it wasn't that. It's like, it's hard over. Turn the wheel. 10 seconds. Here it goes. And they're just like, it's nice that the whales just sit still. It's like, we're just going to stop swimming and just wait on you.
Do they factor that into their calculations to re-slingshot back around?
Well, Spock was guessing. That's why I had, because, he couldn't know exactly.
You lied. No, I implied. Yep. I love like when you saw, like, back in the day, it was not Mythbusters, but it was like how they did the original like graphics for that. They basically took a glass of water with glitter in it and stirred it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm looking at Paltrow's IMDb. It's got to be Great Expectations. I don't know.
Great book.
I guess. Like, no.
Oh, we're all going to die, but still extraordinary.
Pretty fine.
He's like, okay.
That's what your mom said.
Oh, shit.
It'd be great if Spock went in and went swimming with them again.
Just yeah, there's a little space in the top of the cargo hold.
Yep.
Actually, spoiler alert, he's about to. But no, it's Kirk that's about to. And I love how every time they quote literature, it's like literature from the 20th century or before. It's not, oh, we don't quote like, 22nd century literature that nobody else would get. Nope. Every time. It's a quote that,
Oh, I'm sorry. Ahab has to hunt his whale. You do have books back in it. Going back to first contact.
Yep. Absolutely.
I broke you those ships.
Well, and of course, and I'm assuming, half the other people in the 23rd century aren't going to get that, except, Captain Jean-Luc Picard is a Shakespeare junkie, a literature junkie. Uh-oh. Power
Put him in
fall.
the tower, London. Make him part of the tour.
I'm just going to stand here at this console and press a bunch of buttons.
Shake it back and forth.
There we go.
Yeah, he's doing the practical effects. Sort of like Jim Carrey as Ace Ventura when he's going off-roading in When Nature Calls.
Yeah, sliding door. I don't know, Sherry. That might have been the Gwyneth movie. I don't remember. I just remember a very distinct hatred because she was acting so well as like a really shitty person. Yeah. Let Spock fly the ship. Wait. Not. No. Wait. Fire.
So you're putting Chekhov, who's still in his Johnny, at the con. And he just was about to have major surgery, but he could fly a Klingon bird of prey around the sun.
Well, you saw the power descent. Sulu just press one button. It's not difficult.
Oh, solar flare. The end.
So how do you like your whale?
Uh-oh, no. Power drain. We didn't think of this. Uh-oh. No.
We didn't hallucinate this time.
Doc, are we back?
We're back at the Olive Garden. Shh.
Uh-oh.
Don't struggle.
We going down.
One dab minute, Admiral.
This ship at least is a little bit more plausible, like that they have actual wings that maybe they could glide in, other than like the JJ version where they're gliding in the Enterprise with nary a wing on that sucker. Like, nope. That is a brick. That is a flying brick.
Hey, if they can land this, and it can land half a ship in Sith.
There you go.
Or all the Clone Wars cartoons where they're basically running down a ship. I love that in Ahsoka where she's like outside the ship. I was like, oh, this
her
seems
Her Montrails were covered with the helmet.
With the helmet, yeah.
Bullheads, blow, explosive bolts. I don't know. I'm thinking opening the hatch was not the best thing. That's what's letting the water in.
Well, and did they rebuild the Golden Gate? Because, I mean, how old is that then? You would think it would have rusted.
Yeah, it's covered.
Like I said, a couple of years later, Magneto decided to lift it and put it right to Alcatraz Island. So,
well, or Star Trek 1 where they dropped the stupid mining thing. Well, that's like the JJ Star Trek.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
The what? There's what?
Get the drill.
The drill.
I'm still convinced that that one character that was in season 1 and 2 of Picard is Nero's like ancestor.
Hmm. No, Scotty, the door won't open. We're beating on it with, you guys have like phasers and stuff, right?
We are going to die.
Well, and the water's cold.
Oh, yeah.
Also sharks. But I guess they must have killed them off too.
Here
Here,
you go.
get on the door.
Here, I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'm gonna dive in there and open it from here for no.
Just knock on the door. Someone will come.
Again, look at those underwater scenes. That toupee is acting its ass off, doing the heavy lifting right here.
Do the Mocking Santa's strength. All right,
That is
turn. All right, turn. All right, turn.
I do respect and love the way they, backlight all the emergency handles. So it's, fancy. Oh, there it goes.
In case of emergency, break this.
What they don't show is the sign 0 days since the last accident, which they're going to have to now fix.
Whoop, here he comes.
Look at that. That's a lot of glue.
Mm-hmm. Hair and makeup.
Dude, you just
and like this is some like Titanic level mess. Is they actually built that big sucker in a tank,
right,
on some studio lot.
See with the Black Pearl.
Yeah. And then they built like a big, like half of a whale that they could drive by.
Well, it has to turn its flipper over. Like,
it might have been a whole whale. It might not have been a half.
Come closer. Come closer.
And now he's on the Universal tour.
they just retrofit Bruce. It's really Bruce in a whale suit.
Yeah. Here's Brucey.
Oh, wait. The whale. They got to talk. Talk, you stinking whale.
This bathrobe is so absorbent.
Oh, that was so quick.
Talk to them.
Oh, look. Wait, that's a shark.
I speak whale.
At this point,
that was totally believable.
As much as they can figure out, and we can have like AI James Earl Jones say anything, I'm thinking they could have gone back with like a computer and a recording device and just taped some whale song. Oh, look, I'm just going to turn around and go away now. It's convenient how that goes.
It's the Baby Ruth from the pool in Caddyshack.
Oh, God.
Baby.
No. Judy!
It's still good. And all the actors just sitting there clinging on the side. It's Takei and Nichelle are sitting there going like, they ain't paying me enough for this shit.
Or they pull a Danny Glover. I'm too old for this shit.
Exactly. See, now that was my fun part. Is Danny Glover? I told you about this. I think I was talking about this the other night. Danny Glover is still a reasonable autograph. Mel Gibson, not so much.
Right.
Out of like a $600 autograph, like $120 of it is Danny Glover. Oh, the little volleyball went back inside. They're getting ready to roll. Yeah. Wonder how big, like in the scale of that, how big is that ship? Are there a bunch of whales? Is that cetacean ops? Cetacean that that's one of the fun things that you read about in the technical manuals, cetacean ops. That's just a bunch of like dolphins and whales
Wait, can
swimming
you see?
inside of that paper towel tube.
Can you see Kirk's bald spot? Wait, what was that?
What?
Look at the back of his head when he's crawling up the bird of prey. It looks like kind of shiny.
Woo!
See? Oh. Oh, now it's a pool party.
Everybody's there. Let's wave at the whales because that does a lot of good. Why, Michelle?
And then George comes up and eats all 5 of them.
Oh my!
It'd be great if the shuttle flies over and just shot them. Oops. It turns around, comes back.
Oh
Well,
look,
the Smurfs are represented.
the Wi-Fi's back.
It's my house. That's gonna be the thing. Every time I freeze, Dave, or my internet goes out, the probe flew by.
There you go. Look, let's use some stock footage of whales preaching. Okay.
Let's do some stock like graphics that's totally 8-bit.
I gotta know who this guy is. He looks really familiar.
Hey, whales. Ooh.
You see Nimoy, he's trying not to laugh, and then Shatner's just like, "You're going in."
Throw in. Everybody in the pool.
Come in, the water's fine.
Oh, shuttlecraft coming in. Strafe them.
There she blows.
Furries.
That's what they need to add to Soren during the Golden Gate Bridge scene.
Like, how about at this point? Yeah, they were already on trial for crimes against whatever. Could we put them on trial for kidnapping somebody from the 20th century?
Captain Spock, you don't have to be here. They're my friends. All right, you're all going to be mining for the rest of your lives, including you, Captain Spock. I don't know these guys.
Yeah.
Well, the president's been in a lot. He's been in. He was in Moonlighting, Star Trek: The Next Generation, Magnum PI, Chips. He looks like he was in another sci-fi movie though. Love at First Bite. Wow.
Oh, wow.
Rockford Files. Columbo. He's been around. The old Get Smart, the Donna Reed show. No, I guess I'm wrong.
Because of mitigating surface, because you just saved the world.
You're getting
Slap on the
demoted,
wrist.
but we're giving you another ship.
There you go.
Hey, he was in North by Northwest.
Oh no, you made him a captain.
I'm sorry, I only date admirals. I'm breaking up with you.
You got demoted.
Please drop me back to the Olive Garden.
Noted, but I'm giving you a starship. Look at all the weird. It's the cantina scene. Here we go.
They give them this Ricky Dink things. You got to earn your way back up the ranks to get up.
I swear, some of these like aliens are recycled. Like suits from the Cantina, like the Bat Dude in the yeah. No. This is like raid the Star Wars thing. Put a mask on the guy.
Well, it's like
All
the boss with the Doctor Who outfit.
Yeah, the uniform makes them different. It's fine.
And
I
some
grow
extra
tired of looking
suits
at you.
from for Big Trouble in Little China. I'm going to go work for Carol Marcus.
Nope. And we never.
How would Kirk know 20th century pickup lines? Is there like an app for that, or like a book?
Yeah, because we never see her again, right? Ever. Not even mentioned.
Was she mentioned
But she'll
any
find
canon
him.
books? I just got done. I'm gonna go watch this lovely father-son moment.
It's very emotional.
It was no effort. I'm contractually obligated as your father.
Well, the funny thing is that was a very humanoid, earthling type of thing to say, whereas it might not have been logical.
Right. Now he still appears. That same actor is still playing Sarek in Next Gen, isn't he?
Mark Leonard, I think his name is.
Kirk's just awkwardly hanging out.
Should have come with glue milk on.
He is and ever shall be his friend.
I feel like they recycled that shuttle from Last Starfighter.
Right? They're talking about remaking that movie. They should not remake that movie.
No.
When I met Nick Castle, he said that I asked him about if they were going to do a sequel, and he said that when he was going to Niagara Falls, that he had actually run into the writer at the airport or something, and that they've been talking about doing like a sequel, but he didn't say anything about a reboot. That would suck.
1701 A. No bloody A, E, C, R, D, NCC 710.
No, that's the Canadian Enterprise. That's the 1701A.
Yep. See, one of the best things that had Last Starfighter, which is a great movie in itself, is that Star Wars, Star Trek needs a Death Blossom.
Mm-hmm. Well, I asked Nick if he was torqued off that Lou Gossett Jr. tried to steal Greg from him.
Okay, I think this is hilarious now that they're giving us the up next is they're going backwards. They do not give us a suggestion of Star Trek 5. Don't even suggest that. Why don't you go back and watch Star Trek 3 again? Or watch 3.
Yep. Well, I thought that was absolutely awesome. Thank you very much. And thank you, Aaron, for jumping on with us. I hope it was worthwhile staying past your bedtime to come watch some Star Trek with us.
Oh, yes. Yeah, it was fun, guys. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much. It is helpful to have someone else in our Star Trek corner as opposed to, the governor, who would have been fun to have on here, but yeah, in a completely separate way.
I was talking about it at my I was meeting part of my crew at work the other day, and my boss was like, "This is Spencer, and he likes Star Trek." I just give him a death stare, and Dave was like, "But you do."
But you do.
But no,
See?
it was absolutely great. But thank you very much, Aaron. And what's the URL for your TeePublic?
Oh geez, that's a good question. I think it is, well, it's Wanderlust Untapped is my user whatever thing.
Okay.
I'm technologically challenged. I apologize in advance. It's also midnight.
Yes. Well, don't
I
forget
don't think
that
I've been
on
up.
Wednesdays, as part of our Tashi Station, Aaron always puts up a link to his group. So take a look at that. But Dave, another great night tonight.
Better it. There we go. Yeah, it absolutely was. This is only the first of the movies that we are thankful for. Comment, people, like on this, if you're watching this on the back end, if you're watching this on tape or whatever, or shoot us a message at virtualcantinanetwork@gmail.com and let us know what other movies you're thankful for. What would you like to watch? We've got some other ideas, but there's a couple spots left in the program that we'd love to fill with some of the movies that you want to see, some of the ones that you can completely and totally quote right there with us. So just let us know.
And don't forget, next Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern, we will announce what we're going to be watching next week.
Woo!
So, a lot of good stuff. So, from Aaron and Dave, this is Spencer say, live long and prosper.
It's your last chance, Spencer, to poke the bear about Comic-Con.
Oh, and I'll see everybody
before
and
we
the
go?
two of you at Rhode Island Comic Con tomorrow.
Peace and long life to everyone except Spencer.
There's a missing
Bye, guys.
finger.